remember, if I can cook it, so can you. So go nowhere. Let's create chuletas con amarillos. That's how we call it in Puerto Rico. In essence, it's going to be pork chops with sweet plantains. And here I have a couple of pork chops. This one has the bone. It reminds me of my grandmother, my aunt, back in the day when I was growing up in Puerto Rico. I had, of course, a couple of yellow, very sweet plantains. I'm going to need my adobo, which is homemade and adjusted for this particular recipe. And what I have here is a little bit of oregano, fresh. I have some smoked paprika, just a little bit. I have some salt. I went with Himalayan. I have some black pepper. I have some turmeric, just a little bit. I decided to use some, I forgot the name of this now, some ginger, ground ginger. And I have some garlic, about 4 teeth of garlic, which I'm going to be mincing. Also going to need some oil so I can fry these pork chops, and I can fry also the plantains. And I'm going to use some vinegar because I want my pork chops to be tender. So when I cook the pork chop, I'm going to use vinegar. I have aside here 1 cup of mixed rice. What I mean with the mixed rice here is I have a combination of white rice, brown rice, wild rice, and red rice. And I have a little bit extra virgin olive oil, which I'm going to use when I'm cooking this rice. These plantains, they're very nice. I bought them at one of the local Hispanics markets. Nice. Cut on the edges. And you start peeling. Just start, do an incision. See how easy? And then you slide in any way you want to cook them. I'm going to go like somewhat of wedges. It's that simple. Do the same with the other one. This is a vintage cast iron hollowware, which I bought at an antique store. This is a very, very old one, by the way. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the heat medium high for about 3 minutes because I want the heat to distribute through the cast iron. I want the cast iron distribution of the heat to be complete. So let the oil heat up for a couple minutes so the heat distribute. I can feel it here. So I'm going to put the pork chops in. So I'm cooking this at medium high. Typically I have some vinegar mixed with the oil, but because I put the vinegar in my mixing bowl and the chops have been sitting aside for like 25 minutes, I didn't need to do that. You have to make sure pork chops are cooked. This is not steak. So after 3 or 4 minutes, turn it around, flip them, see how beautiful. See how beautiful? And repeat the process. Keep the handle away from you. You don't want to hit it and get burned. I flip them one more time. With a second flip. Because I wanted the other side to be this nice looking fried, nice, Everything here. See? Tender, but not bleeding and anything. So they're cooking nicely, see? The way it's supposed to be. So I cook this baby for about maybe 8 minutes because I flip. See how beautiful? Put in a plate, paper towel, for that fat drip. Now it's time to cook the plantains. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit more of oil. Just a little bit more. I had the heat at medium. I reduce it to medium. I'm going to let it heat up a little bit. Because you want the plantains to cook internally. If you put it at high or medium high, it's going to cook too fast. And what you do is you add these babies. And because they're not fully submerged, you're going to have to flip them a little bit here and there. I have a lot of videos about how to cook plantains, so I'm not going to invest a lot of time here. Just showing you the basics. So I already flipped them. Babies almost, see how sweet and nice. I have a plate with paper towels. Just flip them there so the grease drain, and that's pretty much it for the plantains. See how simple? These ones are very nice. So I have 1 cup of the mix, and if this was just wild rice, the ratio would be about maybe 3 cups of liquid, meaning water or a broth, versus 1 cup of the wild rice, and highly recommend that you soak that rice for several hours so it doesn't take a long time, meaning 30-40 minutes to cook. But for the mix, it's slightly different. 1 cup, I'm going to use 1 cup and 1/4, and I choose broth. You can choose whatever you want. And you have to heat a high because you want this to boil for a little bit. And you put a little bit of oil. You can put butter too. You have your rice. Now that it's simmering, I'm going to put a little bit of salt. I'm going to cover this baby. Reduce the heat to medium. And let it cook. It's been about 10 minutes. It's not ready, but I wanted to show you something. See how the water drained? It means that you want to move it a little bit because it hasn't been drained completely, but you want to move it a tiny bit. They have a lot of water on it. If this was wild rice, it would be cooking practically like spaghetti, but because these have different mixes, I want to move it a little bit. And I'm going to cover it. So in my case, about 25 or so minutes later, see, the water is gone, the rice is grainy. And it's cooked. It took me about 25 minutes, 26 minutes. Turn the heat off, get the rice out, let it rest for about 5 or 7 minutes.